Okay, so welcome to part 2 of how to add third-party plugins. This one is going to show you how to set up the new script which I showed you in the earlier video. So I'm going to do everything from this right from the very start. So if you follow along, you should be able to do this yourself. So it's firing up FL Studio. I'm going to go into. I've already got my FL Key Mini connected. I'm just going to check that it's okay. Version FL Key Mini. Incidentally, there you can see HDSQ Miguel's param checker, which I'm going to show you later. It's very similar to this, but this one is targeting what we're trying to do with the standardization of parameters, whereas this one is very generic, very handy, but very generic. Okay, so that looks good. Let's now go back to our web page, which I showed you earlier. This is the same page. It's on my blog. Cool. Oh no, this is actually not on my blog. This is on the scripting forums for FL Studio, and it's called Huzzah! Complete Start Support for Third-Party Plugins. Blah 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 blah. And we scroll down here. I'll put that link below this video. Now down the bottom here, these are all the list of actually all the currently supported plugins, by the way. And if you click on any of these links, it will take you to the download and more information about each one, so it's quite handy. You can see this one is the one you're familiar with probably if you've already got this working. That's the one that makes it the magic happen. Magic. This is the new one. This is the scripts that I showed you in part 1. So let's download that. And I'm going to download it to my downloads folder. And there it is, it's just downloaded. Let's uncompress it. So extract all, accept the default. I've obviously done it before, and it should open that directory. So there's the file that we want. Let's just close that one behind it. Let's put that over there. And now I'm going to use that trick which I showed in an earlier video, just to make sure that it goes to the right directory. So if you take, if you highlight one of your FL Key Mini or whatever keyboard you're currently using, whatever controller you're currently using, go down to this little spanner and click Explore Script Folder. Then you're going to be very close to where you need to be. Where you want to be is hardware. And where I put mine is under MCUE. So I'm going to click on MCUE. Then I'm going to go back to the folder that we had earlier on, which is here. Let's just tidy it up a bit. So here's my hardware MCUE folder. There's my downloads extracted. And all I need to do is copy this across to here. I say copy or move. I like to copy. It's already in there, but I'm going to replace it. Okay. Now, when we go back to FL Studio, from this position here, I've got the Narration FL Key Mini door, or whatever, whichever one you're using, highlighted. I'm going to change the controller type, the script type. I'm going to click on here, and it should show Plugin Checker. Now, if it doesn't show Plugin Checker, all you need to do is either refresh the device list, or if it's still not showing it, close down FL Studio and reopen it. So I've made that change there now. Let's open up the script output window. And we're now good to go. All we need to do is select, replace the default sampler one with whichever one we want to use. And for the sake of argument, let's go and use the Poly6 one, which I need to make some changes to anyway. And let's attach that just so we can see what we're doing, and then let's reload the script, and straight away it's brought back all the parameters for the Poly6, and we're back to where we were for the previous video. Now this works with any of your plugins, so if I replace that with one of my favourite plugins actually is the Mercury 4, which is the Roland Jupiter 4 from Cherry Audio. This was one of the keyboards that we wanted back in the 80s. No way could we afford this. Then the Jupiter 8 came out. No way could we afford that. But it's nice to have them now in software form. So let's reload the script. And we can now see we've got the parameters. We've got the code reference for Mercury 4. And then we've got the candidate parameters for cutoff frequency, high pass filter cutoff frequency for the low pass filter, and we've got low pass filter resonance. So I think what I'd be doing is picking out for cutoff frequency 17. For resonance I'd be picking out 18. For attack and release I'd probably go for, I prefer that's VCA. VCF is voltage control filter, VCA is voltage control amplifier. I make more use of the amplifier envelope, so I consider that to be more important. So I would probably pick out the voltage control amplifier attack, which would be 24, and then the voltage control VCA release, which is 30. VCA level is not relevant. Master volume is obviously, that's number 8, that's this chappy here, which is 32. And then I've got a couple of volumes here for effects, so they would be knobs 6 and 7, and they would be 55 and 58. And the only one I haven't got anything for there is modulation. So what can I use for modulation? And this is where I'd start looking at down here for the parameters. I'd probably look at LFO, and it would be probably, I don't know, maybe the LFO rate might be a good one, depending on the sound. You know, that's either going to be a part of the sound or it's not, but it's certainly going to be something that modulates. I think LFO is low frequency operator, I'm not sure, oscillator rather. Other choices might be the modulation depth, actually, VCO modulation depth 11. So you'd have to actually play around and see which one you wanted to use, but you've saved a lot of time in having to actually trawl through these. The idea is it's given you quite a good head start in having these parameters, and these work for the FL Studio ones as well. I mean, there's a few that aren't set up already, so what's that, Fruity Envelope Controller is quite a good one. If I reload the script, this one has quite a few parameters, lots of candidate parameters there. That's just the way it's been, the naming convention is set up, so that's a starting point. But I think I've shown you what I need to show you there. The only thing you need to remember to do is to go, when you're finished, go back into your settings down here and change plugin checker back to whatever it was before, which in my case would be Narration Mini, FLK Mini DAW. And I'm now playing my keyboard again. So I hope that's been useful. I was going to show you, I will give it a go now. This is Miguel's parameter checker. I'm going to unplug the keyboard because what I found before is there's some kind of conflict going on between either, I imagine it's probably the two scripts don't like each other. Let's see if that timer's going to go away. And now it's going to, no, okay. We can't do that, sorry. Oh, it's not appalling. Thanks very much for your time.